Hey everyone, welcome back to the Restaurant Technology Guys channel. Today's episode you are not going to want to miss. I sit down with longtime restaurateur and CEO of an R&R brand, Scott Taylor. Let me tell you, he had some really cool stories from a law school dropout to leading a growth brands like Walk-Ons and Party Foul. Scott shares some really cool stories about what it takes to build restaurants, how he's learned some incredible lessons, and what it takes to run a successful franchise in today's day and age. We dive right into all of the things that R&R is building, the platform that they're trying to continue to grow and help restaurants to succeed. If you are a restaurateur, somebody that's in the franchise space, somebody that's looking to grow in technology or anything else, please check out this episode and stick around till the end where Scott shares some of his great secrets that have helped him to propel himself to the top. If you don't know me, my name is Jeremy Julian. I am the Chief Revenue Officer for CBS North Star. We are at the North Star Point of Sale Solution for multi-units. Please check us out at cbsnorthstar.com. And now, on to our episode. Welcome back to the Restaurant Technology Guys podcast. I thank everyone out there for joining us, as I like to say each and every time. Now, you got lots of choices, so thanks for hanging. Today, I am joined by a longtime restaurateur who's done a little bit of pivoting, and I'm excited to dig in with Scott. But Scott, why don't you give our audience a little bit of a primer on who is Scott Taylor, where did he come from, and then let's talk about kind of your latest venture, because I'm excited to dig in.
So the where did I come from is going to be an interesting answer there. So hey everybody, Scott Taylor. I'm the CEO of R&R Brands, and can't wait to kind of walk y'all through what that's all about. But I'm a restaurant guy, man. Went to school at Florida. Actually, right before this was at the gym. So wearing a Gator T-shirt, and then wearing my buddy from Hoppin's hat, who I was just joking. Everybody wants to buy my hat. And actually, somebody at the gym today said, dude, cool hat. I'm like, yeah, thanks. Like, dang it, Josh, I need really cool stuff.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
he's got good,
You're part of his
I
marketing
am his
department. You need to
marketing
start
guy,
start
man.
have him send you a dozen hats. You can start
You know,
selling them.
he gave me some challenge, sell 1,000. I'm like, oh, that sounds great for you, dude. Like, what's it do for me? But anyhow, he's a good dude. Hoppin's a great brand. I'm not going to pimp anymore for him, but there you go. Go check him out. No, I started, went to UF, met my wife there. Um, Graduated, actually started law school at UF, and then always worked in restaurants since I was a kid, 13, and just through college, bartending, cooking, things like that, and just had an opportunity to be an assistant manager at a restaurant back in the day, and I needed a break after, you know, uh, semester, actually 2 semesters of law school. So imagine how super excited my parents were to tell them I was taking a break, and 30 years later, I never went back. So yeah, just got in space, worked my way up. My big first, not big job, my first big company was Marriott, where I really, I think, just learned organization systems, quality standards. I mean, they are ruthless in a good way, just making sure stuff's right. And then from there, just I really had three big jobs in my career. A couple little things on off kind of deals on the way, but I worked for a brand out of Tampa called Shell Seafood Restaurants, and my wife had worked there. It was just a great.
Super high volume, those places, man. I was there in Tampa. I was like, holy smokes, these people just push through some
It
people.
was insane, man. It was a great brand. Still is a great brand. We got the founder kind of stepped aside, brought in a outside CEO that took us public with 9 restaurants. Super not smart. We had no bench, we had no plan, so we grew to like 55 restaurants in 3 years, all corporately owned. But we were doing 4 or 5 million bucks dinner only. Back in the day, that was huge volume. And kind of plateaued, hit a rough time a little bit. One of my mentors, who I think still one of my strongest mentors today, is a guy named David Head. Had joined us as CEO, and he and I had got it on this point where we were turning it around, but it was a 9-year moment for me, and I'm like, I had this opportunity to jump to Beef O'Brady's, which was this little family sports pub franchise in Tampa with like 35 or so locations. Founders still involved. Actually, I think they just celebrated their 40th anniversary, which is super cool. Uh,
Yeah, they've been on the show as well and talked a little bit about that and their tap house
yeah, Brass Tap.
concept as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So
Rest up.
great
Yeah.
guys. So, Jim Melody was just a crotchety Irish guy, had failed at a million things. funny story. It was called Beef O'Brady's because he couldn't afford to change the name and bought a sandwich shop called Beef's. And his wife's maiden name is Brady, so it was Beef O'Brady's. And it was the most
That's
confusing
hilarious.
brand to try to open. We'd be in Ooltewah, Tennessee, and they thought we were an Irish steakhouse. I'm like, we got chicken wings and burgers. We don't have anything Irish here. So, but had a great time. We grew that brand almost 300 locations and sold off to private equity and 2010-ish or so, and then I jumped to I had some mutual friend working with these guys in Baton Rouge. They had a brand called Walk-Ons and some other brands, and so got to know them, spent some time going back and forth, and then spent 14 years there growing that brand from one to they've got 90 now or 91. But really cool brand, full service sports bar, Taste Louisiana. Typically, sports bars are not known for great food. We used to have actually horrible food early on. When I joined them, the nickname used to be wait-ons or walkouts because it wasn't
Oh,
good or
wow.
you wouldn't get it. But what was like probably their biggest weakness at the time is now probably the brand's biggest strength is just great food, cool culture.
It's a cool atmosphere.
Yeah, it is, man. The underdog mindset and the whole thing. So 14 years there. I needed a minute and just took that. It was a time both my kids were moving out of the house. We lived in Baton Rouge. One went to University of Florida. The other went to Florida State, which is also a really fun little time for the holidays and those two get together. But
I was gonna say that must be interesting, Thanksgiving dinner
yeah,
conversation.
it is. My wife and I both went to Florida, so we have to like rock paper scissors. Who's going to be the Seminole when Savannah comes home? But unfortunately, I've been the Seminole a lot of late. Got to work on my game, but yeah. So it's that time. As a parent, man, your kids are in the house. They're going to leave, and we'd been in Baton Rouge 14 years. Let's do something different. So, took a little time. Actually, just did a lot of called it my free love tour of helping out friends. Consulting. Don't pay me, or I got to call you back, kind of thing. So I just figured out what I
Mhm.
wanted to do, what I didn't want to do. Hooked up with some friends with a private equity group for a short stint. We put together kind of this platform of what we're actually doing with R&R brands, and the idea was, in the space and having been involved with private equity, with beefs, having been involved with bringing in private equity to walk-ons. There's, it's a great opportunity to bring in cash, but by nature with private equity, there's an exit that's kind of already in mind on the front end because you're getting
Yep.
other people's money, you're giving promising a return, and then you got to get it. So I was like, man, it'd be cool to have a platform where we could just help people, genuinely without like strings attached. Hey, sign here. We just have control of your company now. Or, let's put together something where we could provide like a strategic partnership. And that might just be it. We could build our best in class team and then be able to kind of spread some of that, knowledge with others and not have to, like I said, it started out at least on the R&R side of like, let's build a really great team. And how do we afford that while we're trying to build stuff? Let's be, maybe there's
Yeah.
two or three groups we can partner with on like supply chain or marketing or, finance. And it is kind of grown into a lot more than that. So, kind of along the way, with my private equity group, we had come across this brand called Party Foul in Nashville, and I had
Mhm.
experienced it maybe 6 years ago. From what I remember, we got a little wasted there drinking boozy slushies in the Gulch. But I'm like, what a cool brand, cool name. The food was good, and I just remembered it, and so we were kind of going after, helping it. We actually supported it through a restructuring process, and we came out on the other end. We went to acquire it, and the partner we brought in to buy it was actually my largest franchisee at Walk-Ons. This guy named Shane Morrison, and so it's like an interesting dynamic because Shane and I were friends before we started the franchise. He ended up becoming our largest franchisee. Uh, and listen, wasn't hugging it out every day. We had some like tough
Yeah. Well,
breakfast
franchisees,
meetings.
franchisor
Yeah.
relationships are never not never, but very seldom are they super amicable
Yeah,
100% of the
but
time.
we always had mutual respect. We always had our breakfast meeting, and sometimes it was a happy hour meeting if we need to have a little tougher conversation, but We always got through it, and like I said, mutual respect because. I always looked at franchisees as entrepreneurs. We needed somebody who was an entrepreneur but willing to work within a system. And so I
Hmm.
respected the fact that somebody stepped up, wrote a big check to us, and believed in our brand. So I felt this huge obligation to perform. So we just got along, through all that. And so, gosh, it'd been a year and a half later. Next thing you know, we're in business together with Party Foul. And kind of clicking, man. I was working with John Taffer a little bit at the time as well on his brand. John had been a friend from actually from the Beef O'Brady's days, met him many years earlier, and so going through that. But John eventually kind of moved on to Craveworthy, which is something I helped him facilitate. And Shane and I sat here and looked at each other. So we got Party Foul, but you got all these other brands, and so he had developed two other franchise full service steakhouses that he hadn't really franchised in a long time. He owned Party Foul. He's a large Walk-Ons franchisee, and he has theaters, which was really kind of his passion. He was a movie theater guy, family entertainment centers. So said, man, let's put it all together. Let's make one company and build a team around it. Shane was always like, man, I love what you did at Walk-Ons. How do we get the band back together? I'm like, well, the band's on tour. Some of the band's still there.
Yeah.
Some of the band's in a different band or whatever. I don't know, and but it was kind of like, there were some people that, had been, there a long time, and as well that, kind of you hit that 10-year mark. It's time for something different. So, I hired our CMO with R&R had been with Walk-Ons 15 years. We'd worked together 14 years. That's a long time. Hired a
Yeah.
COO, or excuse me, CFO. I worked with for 13 years. Hired a VP of Ops and Concept. I worked with for 14 years. Um, Tech guy, 14 years. I mean, ridiculous. So like we just kind of knew each other. So that was kind of an easy plug and play, and put together this restaurant platform. And like I said, it started out to be let's support our brands. Cody's Original Roadhouse, Santa Fe Steak and Cattle, Walk On Sports Bistro will be the best franchisee possible. And then Party Foul. We were a licensee already in an airport. We wanted to build it into a license and franchise model, and then kind of rejuvenate Cody's and Santa Fe franchise. So that's where it started. Let's go crush it. Um, you
Well,
know, uh,
well, and clearly you've got plenty of experience both on your own side and then just kind of the team that you've built. I had said to you before we hit the record button, it's like it feels like you came out of nowhere, but obviously you've been sitting in the space for quite some time, having done this. So I guess double click real quick for me, and I kind of corporate slang, but just double click real quick. So R&R, is it a growth vehicle? I know the guys at Craveworthy. I just was with Greg and Sam at a local event here in Dallas for the lead conference. And we are just kind of talking a little bit. Are you trying R&R to turn into kind of a Craveworthy where you're buying brands, growing brands, building franchisees? Is it new concept growth, from scratch? And I'd love to get a little bit of a thought on kind of, Scott, you've built this super powerful
yeah,
team. Where are you going? Where are you
for
going
sure.
with it?
So listen, and Greg, Sam, great guys. Josh Halpern, love those guys. And actually, they were tight with John, so
Yep.
it was really a good thing for me.
I didn't realize that they were super tight. I walked up to Sam. I'm like, "Is this just for the camera?" He's like, "No, dude. I've known that guy for my
Yeah,
whole
they
life.
call
He's
him
Uncle John to my
Uncle
kids." I'm
John.
like, "Oh,
So I mean, it was like I felt obligated because I could only do so much. It was really me, just myself helping John, and these guys had a team. But the I'll say there's some similarities, but I think there's a real big contrast, say, from like a Craveworthy and what we're doing with R&R. So, R&R, we have close to 50 restaurants of our own, and so Party Foul right now we're going to
oh
open
well, okay."
5 Party Fouls this year. They're all corporately owned. We're going to continue to open up two more Walk-Ons that'll be ours. They're franchises, but we own them, so we'll be over 50 restaurants of our own. So we are operators. What I think is interesting is we have opportunities to partner with restaurant groups and say, hey man, we've got this team, we're buying, let's buy together, we can be more efficient. I think we're in a position to be strategic investors, but we don't have to invest. And so where we would differ from
Hmm.
private equity in particular, or most investment platforms, I think even really Craveworthy, we're not doing it because we have to invest. We're doing it because, hey, this is a brand we
Yeah.
like. Um, and man, I've been in this business a long time, and I feel like a lot of times there are predatorial type groups out there just waiting for that group that either thinks they're ready for an investor or thinks they're ready to franchise. And somebody's going to say, yeah, man, you're ready, everything looks great, we'll do it, and we'll kind of get our tentacles in here and take a piece of this and that. And they were really never ready to grow, or they take an investment at a time. Maybe it was too early. They gave up too much of the pie for nothing. And next thing you know, this thing's gone and the brand
Mm-hmm.
identity's gone. So, we're going to announce 3, 4 probably big strategic deals here in the next 60 days. One of them started out as just purely managed services, strategic partners. We're going to run every aspect of your business for you, including executive, as an interim till we find like a brand president, but no intention of investing. Just do it, get a fee, kind of go from there. As we've gotten to know them, we're like, shoot, maybe we do want to invest with you, because being a partner is different, but it wasn't a prerequisite,
Yeah.
and it isn't. There's 2 other groups that are just groups. Actually, one run by a guy, one run by a girl, and but they're both great brands. And they're kind of at that pivotal phase where they can't afford the infrastructure to get to where they need to be. They've gotten as far as they could. We can bring them along and kind of help manage the business and kind of coach them up along the way. But one of the brands for sure we probably would not invest in, and it's not because it's not a great brand. It just it's geographically doesn't make sense for us. They really just want to go franchise, and we're trying to be kind of a balance with that. But listen, we're gonna help them out. We're gonna bring value. They're gonna be buffed up and shined up, and whatever we got to do to help them out. And then there's another that we may or may not, but once again, it's not a prerequisite. Because I do feel, and this might sound corny, I think there's a higher purpose in this business, and if you've been in it, if you've had time on the vine like I've had, I think there's some obligation to kind of give back and help. So, uh, that is a big part of what we're doing is, let's invest in the business. Let's see where there's opportunities. I know one particular group that we're already working with that we're going to help them get to this point. And I've got a group who's going to be their investment partner. It's not us, but I'm going to put it together, and I'm not going to be there in the middle like, hey,
Yeah.
where's my big commission, kind of thing. It honestly is like. Is doing the right thing a
Mm-hmm.
good business model? Probably not, but it's a good personal model for me, and I feel like, dude.
Let you sleep on the pillow at night. That's really where this show came from, man. I'm 30 years in the business, on the tech side, and 10 years before that, or 8 years before that, working in restaurants. And it's like, you know what? There's so many mistakes. And I guess not to take away the secret sauce, but what are some common things, Scott, that you see? You're a founder, you've grown to 1 or 2 or 3 locations, and you think you're ready to go big. You want to be the next Walk-Ons. You want to be the next, Chili's, whatever. And there's so many success stories, and then there's so many people that give up too much of the pie. But is there anything that you see commonly when you're talking to founders that you would tell our listeners to think about as they're there, really running a successful 1, 2, 3 unit
Yeah, so I
brand
think if
and
it's
want to grow, that you guys have seen
I think
commonly
there's 2 growth
that
paths, right? You get
that you
that
think people
founder
need
that's
to be
got a
thinking
great
about?
brand. They're like, I want a franchise. Like everybody wants franchise. Seems like it's so easy, you know, right? But listen,
Yep. I don't understand it, but I don't understand
no,
it.
no, no, no.
I love
Listen,
that your
so
guys'
I
path
love the
is
franchise
to
model, but
own them,
not every
because
model should
you
be
know what? They don't
franchised,
have to
right?
answer to anybody, but I'll let you keep
Your
going.
unit
Sorry about
level
that.
economics got to be super right and tight. If you're the founder, guess what? You've got to learn gray.
100%.
It's an amazing color. It's not black and white because you're bringing in partners that aren't looking for a boss. So like you've got to be willing to, your brand has to evolve. At some point the brand's bigger than you. So if you can't be open to new ideas from partners joining and being investing with you in your brand, you're going to struggle, right?
Hmm.
So franchising is not easy, and it's I think sometimes it's that ego gets in the way and doesn't work. If you want to do corporate growth, once again, what's the unit level economics, man? So these are cool. You're doing big volume, but you don't make any money. Okay, so let's figure out how do we get the cost of the building down, or we need to get your
Hmm.
prime cost a little tighter. Let's look at your
Yeah.
menu or whatever it may be. You might have a great brand, just needs a little work. But taking capital too early and growing too fast is a bad choice. Um, Getting an FTD done, which is not Chat GBT will do an FTD, which sucks. I wouldn't use it, but I mean, it's so easy to become a franchisor. But man, you can just screw it up so
Yep.
fast, getting caught up in the dazzle of what that would be. So I'm like, man, just take a minute. Don't be in a rush. Just make sure the model, like, prove it out, like, operate it, be the best at it. Get outside of one market. If you got three great little restaurants and they're all in, a 10
Hmm.
mile ring, go open one somewhere else if you think you're a regional brand and see if you can be successful. Um, those are a lot of things you just
Yeah.
people don't do. And then continue to invest in the brand.
Yep. No, I love that. For the brands that you guys do run, I'd love for you to just kind of walk our listeners through people that haven't been to a party foul, that haven't been to a steakhouse. What are they? Kind of what are the concepts, just to share with our
Uh,
listeners, so that when they're
oh,
in an
dude,
area, they can be like,
100%.
"Oh, dude, I heard this
No,
on the
100%. So
podcast."
I'll start with
Party
Cody.
foul, yes.
Cody's
Those
just
boozy
celebrated
slushies are
31
exactly the
years.
way to go, and
It is
for whatever that
based in
might be, I'd love to
Florida.
have you kind
There's
of.
11 restaurants, and it is a high value, great product steakhouse. Some at one point they were like, "Oh, it's the early bird steakhouse," because it does really well with that segment. But it's a great value, a lot of food, but hand cut steaks. I mean, legit foods. Small spaces. Gosh, we've got one that's they're all dinner only. One that does just over $6 million in sales, dinner only. That's crazy, and like 4,000 square feet, like all day long. Great opportunity, right? Santa Fe Steak. Yeah, I mean that's like, yeah. So I'm like, we need to punch a
Yep.
bunch of them babies
Yeah,
out.
especially
So
within that
it's a
size
great
factor,
model, but
because
it's been
steakhouse at
we need to get
4,000
in a
square
position to
feet,
go.
most of
Santa
them are a
Fe
heck of a
Steak
lot
and
bigger than
Cattle is
that, and you
actually
got a whole lot
celebrating its
more rent to
30th
cover.
anniversary, and so they are spread out across Louisiana, Alabama. Started in Nashville. We have restaurants in Oklahoma. I want to say 16, 17 of those. A little higher end, but more of a southwestern twist. So fajitas, some different types of southwestern items on the menu, as well as, I mean, great hand cut steaks, margaritas, lunch and dinner, good volumes. Some of those units up 6 million plus as well a unit, and in that 6 to 6,500 square foot range. So like I said, at 30 years old this year. Party Foul, oh my God. But Party Foul just goes in Nashville, and it's been my baby for a while. I mean, the name, when Party's your first name and Foul, FOWL for chicken. But I can remember in college in a fraternity, that was you knocked over a beer, you didn't finish your shot. Somebody changed the music, Party Foul, you got to do a shot.
Hmm.
So
Yep.
we've played into that whole thing. And, it's Nashville hot chicken, which, if anybody's curious how to make that, it's basically take bacon grease, and then make it spicy and toss fried chicken in it. So it's super healthy, but it's unbelievably good. We do, house made, mild, medium, hot, and then our poultry geist, which is our hottest, is right at 2.3 million on the Scoville
Uh-huh.
scale. It will light you up. In many ways, it has days of benefits with the light up on that side, but
Oh my gosh.
so Nashville hot chicken. We have some other stuff besides chicken, lots of variations, but the menus focus there. Boozy slushies, man, are our thing.
I'm sure.
Lots of different flavors. The Bushwhacker will take you where you need to be, and then if you need extra shot, we just drop in airplane bottles of Screwball, airplane bottles of whatever it is. You can get a big one, get a little one. We do a big brunch for two. That's a whole chicken on a 65-ounce Bloody Mary. So it's just fun factor. We do shot skis like you do at a tailgate. So if you're having a good time, we'll do shot skis. We'll do shot flights. We'll do all kinds of different stuff. But it's a good time. Our growth,
Oh, nice.
honestly, we see
Yeah,
this
at the
as like that
skis. Yep.
college campus place that if you're going to Gainesville, where I went to school, you're right across campus. In fact, we're looking at the site right at Midtown across from campus. We've got one opening next to the Kappa Sigma House
Okay.
at Louisiana Tech in Ruston. We're opening one right across from Vanderbilt, literally across from their property line. Up here in Nashville, one in Middle Tennessee State, Murfreesboro, and then we'll still be, kind of growing in the neighborhoods. But and then we have one at the airport as well, Nashville. So super fun brand, man. We love it. And then Walk-Ons, listen, if we're voted number one sports bar in America by ESPN. Great food, legit AV package like Best Buy on steroids. But you get the best of like good Southern hospitality,
Hmm.
legit Louisiana cuisine, but not over the top. It's probably 30% of the menu.
But unique, I mean, to me, the Walk-Ons experience, because I've been to Party Foul, I haven't been to the other two brands, but Walk-Ons, the cool thing for me is it's not,
Yeah.
you've got a menu that's wide
Yeah,
enough
man,
that you
and
don't have to
people, I
be
think
in
with
for
when
Cajun
you say
Louisiana
Cajun,
food
sometimes they think
and can still
spicy.
experience it. But
Louisiana
if you
food is
want
just
that
well
special
seasoned,
twist on
and so
something, to
my
me,
thing was
Walk-Ons
like, we got to
is kind
take
of a
the salt
cool
shakers
cool
off the
idea.
table because everybody rolls up in there like, "Bah, bah, 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 bah." They're like, your food's salty. Is like, well, if you had tasted it first, you'd have seen it's already seasoned. It's Louisiana cuisine.
Hmm.
But no, Walk-Ons is great, man, and they're on an awesome growth trajectory. So, we opened our 11th restaurant in Central Louisiana as a
Yeah.
franchise, and we'll open in Jacksonville. I want to say late September, and then Dothan, Alabama, in October. Those will be the last two on our deal. We'll have 13 walk-ons. So yeah,
Love it. So, Scott, there's been a lot written about kind of the death of casual dining recently. And, and I think about, as I watch you go through the four different brands that you guys look at, you've got to create an experience. I'd love your thoughts on, for our listeners out there, why are you so bullish on being able to grow these brands where everybody else is like, well, maybe I need a drive through, maybe I need some other way to get consumers and get top line revenue. And I look at you going, no,
yeah.
we're
So
going
I
after it. We're
hate
going to
people
create an
say back in
experience. And
COVID because it
from
did,
a longtime
such a long
restaurateur, I
time
look at the
ago, but
brands you've been at.
it did. When
Many of them
people
are
were locked
experiential.
up,
Many
you
of
had to get
them,
out,
better
and be
value for
around
the
people.
money,
So
and whatnot. So I'd love
full
to
service
get your
restaurants
thoughts on
will
kind of
never go
what does
away.
that look like
Casual,
for you, and why are
fast
you so
casual
bullish
is going to
on
try to inch
kind of
its way
jumping
up
jumping
close
through
to
that
it.
hoop
And
to do
listen,
more casual dining?
there's a model for a polished fast casual that we will do with a couple of these brands where I think it makes sense, that hybrid model. Um, but there's so many places to eat. You can eat at the grocery store, at home, gas. It doesn't matter, man. So I think having an experience is beyond just the food is very, very cool. People want it, right? But it's got to be there's got to be more to do as well. So I hate to go in a restaurant like there's certain things that just will piss me off. But if I go in a restaurant for dinner and the lights are too bright, I will literally get up and go find the server alley and the dimmers and dim the lights. And people are like, "What are you doing, sir?" I'm like, "Doesn't that look better?" Like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "We'll
Yep.
get a little Sharpie, mark this right PM, old school. Like, we're here to eat, not perform surgery." Like, it pisses me off. Or if the music's off, like, "Hey, can y'all got music up in here or something?" But I think when done right and the vibe, call it the lava, the lighting, ambiance, volume, atmosphere. When the lava's right, the food's great. Sometimes the food almost is second to the experience. So I think people go out and want to just have a good time and a good meal, have a cocktail or two if they want. And then what else, right? So that's where tech comes in, man. How do you gamify? Not necessarily gambling, though that you can do that. And I think there's some brands doing a great job with it, but you can do gamified things through your loyalty app. You can create interactivity in the restaurant where there's just more reasons to be there. Um, and then, from a tech standpoint, there's things that, allow you to just have a great experience in full service where I think where things have gotten tough for a lot of brands. Listen, there's labor pressures, there's commodity pressures. You hear tech and AI, and you're like, oh my God, I don't want a robot, which I don't want a freaking robot waiting on me either.
Hmm.
But, I could be in the best restaurant, have the best server that just got sat at 10 top, and I don't care how good you are. that person's tied up at that tent top. I'm not getting a drink. I'm waiting. So I'm cool with scanning a QR code, send me another drink, things like that. I don't want to live and die
Yep.
by a QR code and no human involved or even like just somebody dropping food. So there's ways I think tech can kind of make the experience great. Tech can do some things where you create interactivity in the restaurants. It just, the entertainment type deal, and so, with all these brands, just trying to find ways to make it fun. Um, the old school trivia. It sounds like karaoke. Never in my life. I hate karaoke. They sit there, they drink a Diet Coke. I'm just no offense. If you're a karaoke guy, I apologize, but I can't stand it. But like other things, are interactive. Like there's just a reason to be there, I don't think people all just want to go through a drive-through or get something delivered. There are a lot of people looking to go someplace. We just want to be that place that's more than just food.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, no, and I remember talking to a CEO years ago, and he's like, you know what? People are dining out to have an experience. They're not dining out just because, to your point, they can go get food cheaper at the grocery store. They can go get food at the gas station. They can go get drive through. And now, I guess that'd be the last thought I have here, Scott. Is the pricing for casual dining and fast casual has gotten closer. You and I have been around the space for a long time. I happen to have a family of six, four kids, and my wife and I. So when all six of us go out, value is a big piece of it. I guess I'd love your thoughts on how do you create value, but still create an experience and make sure that you're making money, because in casual dining it's a tough deal to do.
Oh
You've got to
yeah,
be able to
exactly.
serve people right. I had that exact experience last week, or actually this weekend, where I went to a brand that I love. We go all the time,
Dude, I'm
and the guy
telling
got
you.
set a 10 top and a 6
No,
top, and
seriously,
then
man. I
our
think
5 top,
value.
all within
What's
5
the
minutes
old
of each
value
other. And I was like,
equation? Was like
I
product
knew,
plus
I was like, hey,
experience divided
they
by
screwed
price
you,
equals value.
but
So
the experience
experience
was
is a big
awful.
part of it.
I
Product,
know, and it
I
was
think
16-year-old girl at the
there's
front
just
desk.
been this
The worst part is
desire
I
to go
watched the
up in
manager
price, go
watch
up
her
in
do
price.
it,
Oh, the
and then did
consumer
not
will
even
pay
help
it.
the
They
guy.
know. They
But
know. They
that's
know.
a
Well,
different
at some
story for a
point you
different
hit a
day.
wall,
But
right?
I'd love to.
And I always look at it,
That
man.
drives
Like,
me nuts because, like, dude, you're standing there. Get your lazy ass up and go help this
so
guy
many
serve
places
these
I
tables. But
go,
again,
I
I
guess there's some
digress.
days I'm
Yeah.
just gonna like chow and just like pack it in. But most people, either they're needling up, which that's a crazy little deal.
Yep.
I've been joking around. We need to have uh, um, like a Monjuro or Ozempic menu or something. Done a shot, just did a shot. Let's do a shot or something funny. But it's like smaller portions, man. Let's give a tasting of things. I see value if I could hit the table with three things for $20 versus one. You feel like you got a good value in the whole deal, and it's not like entree, beverage, dessert. I mean, like just different stuff, variety, shareable things, man. I think we tested this really cool kids concept in one of our other brands, but where you had to sat down,
Yep.
four kids, you and your wife, you got to lock all your
I love
social
that.
up in a cage on the table and stay there the whole time. And if you do, you open the door to this new menu that's kind of fun. You get to do stuff, but like dad's like, oh, it's work, it's work. Suck it up, dad. Like it's my friend, it's my friend. Yeah, they want to play. Yep. So item wise, I would say the sirloin. If you go to Cody's, just legit.
Yeah.
It's
Spend time with your
fantastic.
kids,
Everybody's
man.
like, "Ooh, the
Have the
sirloin." It's
experience.
actually
Yeah.
just a really good
We've got a
steak.
family rule: no
If
electronics
you
at
were
the
going to
table,
go to
man.
Santa Fe, I
You
think
know,
the fajitas rock,
it's
or I
a big
love the
deal.
ribeye. If you go to Party
Scott, I'm gonna
Foul,
go
I'd
one
get
last
the hot
question. I
cheddar
guess across the
sandwich.
four
I
brands,
would do
what
it
is your go-to? Or if
medium because
I'm a
our medium's a
first-time
little
person
hotter
experiencing
than
Party Foul and the
most.
first time
The hot's gonna
experiencing
it's gonna light
Walk-Ons,
you
what are
up.
your
Like it's
go-tos
good.
that
It's
you would tell our
gotta have a
listeners as they're
slushie to
out
take it
traveling
down.
and
Well, for
visiting some
guys,
of the
if you're
stores
that
that they should
guy,
go make
go
sure they
for
check
it.
out?
Like, but oof, get ready. If you're at Walk On, Oh no, it'll take you up big time. No, listen, walk-ons, man. I love the. First, I'll crush the red beans all day. I think they blow Popeyes away. Sorry, Popeyes. The walk-ons are legit. The
Hmm.
gumbo is ridiculous. Probably the best seller there, but it's like belly up time is the Bayou pasta. It's like a crawfish cream
I
sauce
made
top with
that
fried
mistake the
shrimp.
first time, by
I
the
mean,
way,
it
real quick. I
looks
was at
like
Prince's,
unhealthy on the
maybe
plate,
10 years
but
ago
I'll
before
split it.
Nashville hot
My
chicken hit
wife and
the
I'll get it.
hit
It's
the market, and I got
amazing.
the
But
medium at Prince's hot
they
chicken
got
down by
great
y'all,
food.
and I was like, "Woo,
But
this is
let me
rough,"
take you, man. I want to tell you a
because
little
I
about
normally
R&R
like
for a
hot, but
wrap
that
up with this
just the
stuff, dude.
medium was
Super.
way too much. So sorry, I'll let you keep going.
Yeah, so R&R started out, with Shane and I got together with Party Foul, like let's come up with an entity name, and I'm like, and it took forever. And I'm like, how about ASAP LLC or LFG LLC? Can you just come up with a name? And then finally it was Rhythm and Rooster. I'm like, all right, well that's dumb, but that's fine. Let's go book it. I need an entity. Let's
Hmm.
get licenses. And so Rhythm and Rooster is
Yeah.
makes sense. We're in Nashville. Rooster is chicken, so we're cool. So then R&R was floating around. Let's come up with this restaurant concept. Well, it's not Rhythm and Rooster.
Yep, that was where I was going to
It's
go. Was
about getting the band
how do
back good.
people
Maybe it's
engage?
rock
Tell
and
us more
roll.
about R&R and
If we're
kind of
gonna
where
help
things are at.
other people and try to be different, let's be different. So we can't be rinse and repeat. If we're restaurant people, we operate restaurants with resilience. If we're gonna help you out and figure out where you're at, we're gonna give you a little rest and relaxation. And so it's all these things of like, what do we do and how do we define ourselves? What are we? What aren't we? I think the biggest part of our portfolio is going to be these partnerships that we create with different folks because oops, sorry, I lost you. You there? You still there? Okay, I just lost your picture. Okay, sorry about that. Uh, I can hear you. We're good. No, but the I think that's going to be the biggest part of what we do because having been engaged with an investment group in the past, they tend to want to make you conform to how they do it or what they do. And you look at a lot of portfolios that have multiple brands, and they tend to all end up looking the same, like vanilla yogurt, and nobody likes vanilla yogurt. Like you just got to put stuff in and make it different. So, we'll take this curated approach with these
Yeah,
folks, and I
you
think
flashback for a second.
having been
Yeah, I'm still here.
franchisees,
Can you hear me?
franchisors, licensors, operating our own stuff, we just have a really unique perspective. So, and I think that gives us some legitimacy coming in that like we're not. Oh, these bankers that we really love the space. Like, well, what do you know about the space?
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm like, no, man. Yeah, we're a restaurant, dude. We got people, so like, take a minute to get to know us. Culture's key, man. Like, we don't want to change what you do. Let's try to make you efficient. And I'm more excited about. Listen, we got great brands. We're going to grow them. That's going to be insane. I'm stoked. We're super secret. We're about to announce the acquisition of a large franchisor. We'll pick up probably 85 restaurants here in the next 60 days. And then we're going to partner with a large full service brand,
Yeah,
hopefully in the next
you've got
30
to make
days.
your
There'll be
P&Ls
another
conform to what they
55
want to see,
locations that we'll
and you're like,
partner
this
with and
doesn't
actually
work for a
invest in as
restaurant, man.
well.
This is not how a restaurant
And then we've
operates.
probably
I
got
hate
another
that.
25 locations of two other brands that'll just be pure partnerships and support. But in all those instances, it's and meeting with the teams, it's like you know, we don't want to change what you got. I mean, there's obviously there's gonna be a fresh set of eyes walking in, right? Hey, we can help you here or there, but like, yeah, but not coming in like flexing like you guys, you need like no, they're you didn't make it this far if you sucked, right? You just everybody sucks at some
Well,
point, so we just want to bring a fresh set of approach and help everybody be better, and honestly, it makes us better too. So that's the most exciting.
yeah. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? Yeah.
Yeah, man. And so honestly, this sounds weird, but we have to be a
Hmm.
culturally aligned group. And that is honestly the first box. So there are some great opportunities. We've met with some people. I'm like,
Mhm.
there's no way.
Well, and
Like,
what is that
I
ideal
don't
customer?
not like
You
a
know,
lot of
what
people,
is
but
that
I'm like,
customer
that
that you guys are
person's kind
looking
of a
for? Is it a
dick. You know,
brand like
like,
we talked about earlier
right?
that's
Like, I could
gotten to
not
2 or
deal with
3
that
and is
person.
looking to get outside of the
Yeah.
region? Is it somebody
Yeah,
that's,
I think
at a
if we
place
did
where they're like,
Chomsky's, it'd be
"Hey,
worse.
we
I'm like,
own it and
I don't
I'm
like this
65 and I'm
person. You know, it's like,
looking to
you know,
spin it
just
off." Like,
it's
kind
not
of who
worth
are
it. And it
those
could be
right
the best
people
investment on the planet. It could
to
be
engage with
someone.
R&R? Because again, you guys have built a
It has to
superstar
be
team
people
that
that
really
vibe. Like, you've
can
got
go
to
in and help
be people
accelerate the
first.
success
You've
of these
got to be
brands if
about
they do it right.
quality. You've got to want to, you know, just work hard and do what needs to
Okay.
happen. If you're lazy, my dad told me you can't fix lazy, mean, and stupid. You just can't, you know. And so it is what it is, right? And stupid, that's such a bad word, but you know, we can help
So if
put
they're not
people
willing to do a
around you.
shot
Nobody's
ski and
stupid, I guess,
during the
but we can
interview
help make
process,
you be
maybe
better.
they're
If
not
you're
the right
lazy,
people.
mean, that's forever. I can't make you not lazy. If you're mean, you're just freaking mean, you know. And so we don't like that thing. So those are knockouts for us.
Mhm.
But yeah, smaller brands that you know, what I was just saying, there's some big brands that are that we you know, I've brought on a couple $1 million in G&A to make sure we do it right. And we've kind of put a cap on it, saying with these four that we'll announce, we're not doing anything else for 9 months. So you're not going to hear R&R acquires or partners with 10 more deals, because what we're going to do is we're going to suck. And so I want to overperform. I want to over deliver.
Yep.
I want to be amazing and
Yep.
delivering what we promise to our partners. And as well with our own brands, if we do that, reputation will allow us to be able to continue to grow and do what we want to do. But man, it's just, you know, it's like you want to work with people that you're aligned with and values and culture and, you know, belief system. And there's a lot of ways to make money, man. And I just don't, I don't want to work next to people I just like, ugh, dude.
Mhm.
Yeah. Have a couple beers with them and see how they are when they loosen up, and then go take them golfing. Because if you're an asshole, it comes out when you're a golfer. And so, you know, those two things, you're going to figure it out. Oh, yeah. Ooh. You know what? Walk on back to
Yeah.
the walk-ons. They'll get a little secret. We used to sometimes we'd pick
That's
people
part
up at
of
the
my
airport,
number one
New
factor
Orleans,
when I'm
whatever.
can I
We
have a
would
beer with the
send,
person
you
when
know,
I'm
this
doing an
guy at
interview.
work
It's like
force,
if
a good
I don't
dude,
really
right?
see
And
myself ever hanging out with this person, I probably
but
don't want to work with them, 40
you
hours a week,
wouldn't
50
look at
hours a
him
week,
and
60
think,
hours a
oh,
week.
he's part of the
So,
executive team or anything else. And he wasn't, but he was part of our team. He was a stud. We were for, you know, 10 years, and
yeah.
I would listen to the
Well, I
stories
always do
of, you know,
the spouse test.
we
Have dinner
pick
with
up
the
somebody and
spouse.
they're like
How do they treat
engaging.
the
I'm like,
spouse,
oh, what
dude?
do you do?
That's a
You're so
different
friendly. Other people like,
differentiator. I
so, you
I had
know,
a guy that I had an offer
so are
letter in
you
my hand
just
to
like
give him at
rude or
dinner,
so? Where are you
and then I
dropping me
watched how he
off?
treated
And
his
like,
spouse, and I was
what,
done.
like,
I was
what are
done.
their
I just said
names?
no.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, peace out. Like, you know what? Yeah, that's part of that guy is part of our family. And ironically, we would bring that person in to like kick off a discovery day. And they're like, what's he doing there? You don't remember Willie? Willie's the guy that grabbed you at the airport. Yeah, Willie's been here 10 years. He's part of our team, man.
Hmm.
You treated him like an asshole. Yes. So what's ironic is we've already arranged for your trip back to the airport. It was so great to meet you. Appreciate that. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you're out of here, man.
Yeah, so R&R, we, you know, we're on LinkedIn. You could follow us there. You can message. You go to r&rbrands.com. It's spelled
Yeah.
out the A and D. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm pretty good. I work really hard actually to
Yeah,
respond
you're
to
like, you
everybody
treated
that
him like an
connects. But
asshole, and
yeah,
now
man, we
you
got
might
cool
not be a
stuff going on,
franchise.
man.
Yeah.
I'd love to chat with anybody, you know, and you know, we're
Yeah.
like I said, we're not out
No, I
at
love
this
that.
point. And I've got
So
a
how do
lot of
people
people like,
stay in touch,
we want
Scott?
to
Like
work with you. We want to
what's
work
the
with you. I'm
best
like,
way to
we need a
stay
minute
connected, hear about all of these
to
cool
get
things
our
you guys have
stuff
got
together.
going
Why are
on?
you
And
out there
quite
advertising? We're
frankly,
not
even just
like
reach
we're
out
telling our
if they're
story,
interested
you
in
know.
kind of
And
seeing what
so,
R&R is keeping
but
up with
you
for
know, as
themselves.
we those would be the best ways to reach out, man. And as soon as we you know, get our arms around everything we're doing, feeling real good, we're going to continue
Okay.
to expand and grow and do some cool stuff. But yeah, I think those are the ways to keep in touch, man. And um, yeah, watch this. We're gonna do something really cool. Absolutely.
Love it. Well, well, like I said at the onset, Scott, I was excited to see, once I got introduced to you, I've been kind of watching what y'all have been doing and it's been fun. And so I'm excited to check out the concepts. Thanks for sharing the stories. Thanks for sharing even kind of some of the early days at Walk-Ons. I love that. To our listeners, guys, thank you guys for hanging out and make it a great day.